book fans, welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. This episode of Cammy's Comic Corner has been brought to you by The SQUEEG, created by David Leto. Issues 1 and 2 are available now at Kaboom.com and IndiePlanet.com. And while you're at both those sites, you can pre-order issues 3 and 4 because those are coming up. They're on the horizon. And so you can be all up to date on your SQUEEG goodness. What's the SQUEEG about? It's all about a magical squeegee that gives you all these different powers. You can check out my reviews on Indie's Comic Episode Volume 1 and 4. But until then, you can pick it up on your own terms at Kablam.com and IndiePlanet.com. Check out the SQUEEG and what it's all about today. Now, on to the episode. The pick of the week is one that you might not be expecting. I haven't even been talking about this book since Secret Invasion? It's been a while. It really has been, ever since the Dark Avengers. What am I talking about? Let's go right into it. The pick of the week from Marvel, we have Daken, Dark Wolverine number 10, written by Rob Williams and art by Matteo Buffagni and Rossmo. Now, this issue focuses on fresh out of Madripoor, Daken. He's a kingpin over there, and now he's come over to LA because it seems like it's unclaimed territory. I mean, ever since the Pride, which is a nice little tip of the hat to Brian K. Vaughan's Runaways. But anyway, so he's looking around the LA scene, trying to, find out who might the powerful players be. And one guy comes, he's kind of rises above to the top. His name's Marcus Roston, and he's kind of an A-list actor. So the whole drug in this scene right now is called heat. And usually Daken's not really into drugs because they have no effect on his healing factor. Well, heat does, and he falls in love with heat. He takes it at this party, and then all of a sudden he just kind of blacks out. And that's when Riley Rossmo's art comes into play. It's nice and wicked. It's insane. It's like crack spiders got into your brain and were fooling around. And he kind of has this transformation from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde in a way where he doesn't remember when he goes into these episodes what happened. And so now, because there's a huge crime scene from someone he killed, FBI agent Donna Kyle is on the scene, and it's up to her because she's thinking it's Daken. She's been tracking this guy for a while, and all the signs, all the claw play, and everything. It has to be the guy. So she's going to stick in town and find out who done it, as it were. But Daken's able to come to the next day, beat up Marcus's goons, and then have Marcus at his mercy. And he doesn't want money. He doesn't want power. He wants to run this entire town. And so he kind of literally fucks Marcus because he has been by since Secret Invasion. And it's looking like he's going to come and be the next big kingpin of this town, of LA. And there's going to be maybe a heist plan because in the beginning or first pages of this issue, we see a squad of someone with Captain America masks and makes LA look like a war zone. So I was having so much fun with this issue. Riley Rossmo's art of just the whole drug trip really helped sell it to me because he had two different styles in this issue and you could easily tell whether he was under heat or not. So bravo, and bravo to Rob Williams. He's a rising star at Marvel, and if he has more content like this, I'm rooting for him. Now on to the Fast Five. First up from Boom Studios, we have 28 Days Later, number 24. Now this is the final issue of this series, so let's all give a nice round of applause for Mr. Michael Allen Nelson, giving us and providing us with so much entertainment for the past 24 issues. We have Selina and Clint out running, both Army and Infected, still in London, and they are looking to get the hell out of there. The Army even tries to gas the entire island, but thankfully, thanks to some unethical methods, they pee on a rag and then they keep the gas out that way. But Clint's whole plan is to get her and him on a boat and just sail to France. I mean, they find a powerboat. There's a close encounter with the Infected, but they are out of there, and they wake up in France. And Selina has to retire her outfit, as it were, the whole scarlet headdress, the goggles, the knife, and so she does so. And it feels weird to her being in a dress and acting normal with people just walking around, acting like nothing's happening in the world, when obviously the Infected just haven't hit France yet. And so the whole plan now is to go back with Clint to the States, publish the article, and live out their days together. Well, a nice little cliffhanger ending, in a sense, it's more of an homage to the 28 Weeks Later film, is their plane stalled on the tarmac because there was a helicopter crash. And, it wasn't registered or anything. And then at the end, as the plane takes off, you see the Infected invading France. So it was a nice capper to this series. Hopefully, Boom, if you're listening, I hope you are in this segment, will come out with like an omnibus of 28 Days Later, or 2 deluxe editions collecting the 12 issues each, because this series deserves that treatment. I mean, you have Declan Shalvey, you have Alejandro Aragon's art, you have such great creative talents on this series for the past 24 issues that it shouldn't go unnoticed. It shouldn't just be trade paperbacks. This is something you want to pass on to the horror fans who go, yeah, I like that movie. They had a comic of it? Well, there you go. That's your target demographic right there. Next up from Image, we have Invincible number 80. So as soon as Mark and his family get back, his mom and dad need a little bit of a vacation of their own since they're getting back together, and they're going to take a nice little cruise for the next 6 months off, exploring the galaxy together, which means it's both Eve and Invincible under one roof, and they want to go to the master bedroom where the parents usually were, but Mark just can't get over, my parents had sex in that bed. And it's kind of an ongoing gag because any young man or woman thinking about their parents having sex, it's not the best image you want to have in mind. And let alone if you're sleeping in that same bed where said hanky-panky was occurring, no, not good. But they do get a call later on from one of their backers in Las Vegas. The reptile man that we saw in the last issue is tearing apart Las Vegas, or what it looks like, but he tries to explain to Invincible, no, I'm evacuating these people because I planted bombs all over the town, because this is a man-made oasis, and because of it, it's draining the natural resources. So he's kind of like an environmental terrorist, only to the next level. And so Invincible is unfortunately not able to get all the bombs. Hell, he only gets 1 bomb. And the entire city of Las Vegas is vaporized, leaving nothing but glass behind. So it was kind of a holy shit issue, but Ryan Ottley's just killing it on art. Robert Kirkman keeps me in suspense with this series because you're thinking it's eventually just going to become another superhero book. But it doesn't. It does something at the, usually a nice issue, a round issue, and it surprises you completely, and it makes you go, this is why I like this series. I can wait if it's coming out a little late every month per month. Next up from Vertigo, we have Cinderella, Fables Are Forever, number 5. Now, we see a little bit more of the backstory of Cinderella and Dorothy fighting, like when they were in Switzerland at the ski resort, and she was trying to get the mare, Snow White, back from Dorothy's clutches. Nice little fight, and always ending with, and I never thought I'd see her again, but then they come back to the present, where both her and Ivan are being, sent over the deadly desert of Oz via blimp to Dorothy's clutches. And Ivan's able to get out of the shackles. He totally takes out all the crew, and then it's just them on the airship. They land on tarmac, and then they get a little hanky-panky of their own, thanks to some bottles of wine in the tent, and Cinderella's just finding herself more and more attracted to Ivan. And eventually, they seal the deal. When she comes to, she finds out she's been drugged, and not by Ivan, but by Dorothy. Apparently Ivan was killed a long time ago, and thanks to her shoes, a couple of clicks of the heels, Dorothy's able to turn into Ivan. So it's a trap within a trap. And it threw me for a loop, and I was like, well, that's kind of hot, because they were kind of... Anyway, so we have Cinderella in danger now, because she's once again captured by Dorothy, and it's not looking good for her this time around. But at least she got some pleasure before pain this issue. So 1 more issue left, and I can't wait to see how it's going to end. Looks good. Next up from DC, we have Batgirl number 22. We have Stephanie Brown going from Gotham all the way to jolly good London, thanks to Batman Incorporated, since she's a part of the team. She meets up with Squire. They have a nice, funny conversation about aliases and what real names are, because it's Beryl and meets Stephanie, and they don't know, wait, now, are you Stephanie Brown? Are you Squire? Oh, well, don't you tell everybody. Very funny stuff. Beryl gives her the whole tour of London, and they make every stereotypical reference of London, including this one group of baddies called the Orphans, as they're trying to steal the Greenwich Mean, which is, GMT, and it's all powered by an Excalibur-type sword, but as soon as you remove the sword, time stops, because there is no more time in a way. And so it's up to Squire and Batgirl to find and battle the Orphans, because their plan is to kill Night while everyone's, frozen in place. But Stephanie and Beryl have to make sure that doesn't happen. They return the sword, all is well, and then now the real adventure begins for Stephanie as Batman comes into the mix and goes, well, why were you running late? We still have a mission to accomplish, apparently, over here. But it was a very fun issue. I'm going to miss the hell out of this series when the whole relaunches happen and we get a new Batgirl number 1 featuring Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. Why can't we just have Brian Q. Miller's Batgirl still? I mean, can't this just hop, skip, and a jump over the new number ones, maybe lay low for a little bit, I'm willing to wait because I'm having so much fun with this. I mean, when you have Batgirl and Supergirl, when you have Batgirl and Squire, Brian Q. Miller knows how to write these characters, and Pere Perez on art is just killing it. I'm going to miss this series so much. DC, why do you have to do this to me? I'm going to enjoy nothing after this. Nothing! That's not completely true. I might enjoy more things, but I'm going to be very sad when this title and series ends because I just got the trades to keep me company. There's not going to be anything new. Anyway, I digress. Go pick it up while you still can. It's a very, very fun book. And finally this week, from Kaboom Studios, we have Darkwing Duck number 13. Now this is Launchpad and Darkwing. They are searching for Morgana, who disappeared in the last arc, and they're hitting up every psychic in town. Everyone's telling them the same thing. Oh, I can't promise anything, but one psychic in particular does have a money-back guarantee. Still, they leave empty-handed. Meanwhile, we follow Carmichael Q. Anthony, who was a retired, well, he was kind of forced to retire, baseball player who kept on wanting to change up. He wanted to change up his changeup just to keep the batter, confused. Well, they had enough of it, and he is given a jacket which has everything imaginable that he can throw. Now his new target is Darkwing Duck, and he becomes the evildoer known as One Shot. And so it's a very fun issue seeing Darkwing dodge everything imaginable being thrown at him. And eventually Darkwing comes up with the plan to, okay, well, he's throwing all these smaller things. Maybe if I can trick him into doing something bigger, including a nuclear missile, it crushes him. But then it's all up to Darkwing to make sure the nuke doesn't go off and makes it disappear back into the coat. And because of this whole incident that happened between him and One Shot, the mayor doesn't feel fit for duty, and it gives Darkwing the idea to run for mayor. So it's a very interesting premise, this upcoming arc. And would you vote for the Terror Who Flaps in the Night? I'm the Terror Who Flaps in the Night. I am the one who, doesn't do no new taxes. It could happen, but what I'm loving is I'm hearing the voices from the animated series as I read the cartoon, or as I read the comic, and so that means I'm having that much more fun here in Launchpad, here in Darkwing. What's not so fun, though, I gotta say, is the $3.99 price tag for a children's book. And you wonder why you might not be hooking some of these people, Boom. But anyway, it was a fun issue nonetheless, and it's a hell of a lot of fun if you're a fan of Darkwing to begin with. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week for Camy's Comic Corner. If you want more Camy's Comic Corner goodness, you can check out www.camyscomiccorner.com. Every Wednesday I have Geeky Talkie. Every Friday I have my favorite covers of the week. And every Sunday you have the weekly review show As Seen Here. As seen on YouTube and iTunes and other places. Also, at the beginning of the month, you have the Book of the Month episodes and written reviews, and you have, at the end of the month, the Top Shelf selections. So there's plenty going on, and if you need more Cammy, you can even follow me on Twitter at CamComicCorner as well. Once again, this issue of Camy's Comic Corner has been brought to you by The SQUEEG, created by David Leto. Issues 1 and 2 are available now at Kablam.com and IndiePlanet.com, with 3 and 4 available for pre-order at said sites as well. It's fun. You see me review it on Indie Comics episodes volumes 1 and 4, and it makes you want to go out and get a squeegee of your own, hopefully have it combined with lightning and chemicals, and then you can be a superhero or wind up in your morgue. But I like the comic issue, or the series, much more than real life, because you have a couple of good laughs. Kablam.com, IndiePlanet.com, go pick up The SQUEEG by David Leto today. Now, that does it this issue for Camy's Comic Corner. That's right, I'm coming out with my own comic book series, issues 1 through 4, but then we're going to relaunch in September and then have another 1 through 4 miniseries. But basically, it's going to be me in my cool jackets fighting crime. And not actually fighting crime, but getting my ass kicked because I watch too much Kick-Ass and read too many comic books. So in the meantime, this has been Camy's Comic Corner. I have been your host, Cammy. Is it hot in here or is it just me?